Evil that men do, as they say, not only lives after them, but now lives with them. This is exactly the situation that the former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, finds himself in currently. His past crimes are catching up with him in ways he never imagined, and now he is trapped in a situation where staying in prison seems safer than leaving it. Before we continue with this shocking development, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications for more updates. Abubakar Malami has been jailed in Kuje Prison for months now on allegations of massive corruption involving billions of naira. He was not only found wanting by the EFCC, but his entire family, including his wife and sons, are fully involved in the corruption case as well. The scale of the alleged corruption is staggering, with properties worth over 213 billion naira linked to him and accusations that he systematically looted public funds during his time as Attorney General. After his arrest by the EFCC based on evidence of money laundering, bribery, and illegal acquisition of assets, he was charged to court on multiple counts bordering on corruption and financial crimes. Following his arraignment, he was sent to Kuje Prison to await trial since the court initially denied him bail due to the severity of the charges and the massive amounts involved. During one of his court appearances, the judge eventually granted Malami and his family members bail under very strict conditions. Each of them was required to pay 500 million naira bail, provide sureties with properties in expensive Abuja neighborhoods like Maitama and Asokoro, and surrender their travel documents to the court. For weeks, Nigerians assumed that Malami was still in prison because he could not meet these stringent bail conditions. However, the news reaching us today reveals a completely different and shocking story. Abubakar Malami has actually met all his bail conditions and has the ability to process his release from Kuje Prison, but he is deliberately refusing to do so. He is choosing to remain in prison voluntarily, and the reason for this unusual decision is that he wants to avoid being immediately rearrested by the Department of State Services, who have declared him wanted for his alleged involvement in terrorism in Nigeria. The situation became drastically worse for Malami while he was already in prison on corruption charges. The DSS and EFCC, acting on intelligence and following court orders to search and document his properties, raided his home in Kebbi State. What they discovered during this raid shocked even seasoned investigators who have seen many things in their careers. Hidden in Malami's house was a cache of sophisticated arms and ammunition that no private citizen should possess. These were not ordinary licensed firearms that some Nigerians are legally allowed to keep for personal protection. These were military-grade weapons, the kind that are restricted to security forces and that are often found in the hands of terrorists, insurgents, and armed criminal groups. The discovery raised immediate and disturbing questions about what the former Attorney General of Nigeria was doing with such dangerous weapons and whether he was involved in arming criminal groups or planning some kind of violent activity. Following the discovery of these illegal weapons in Malami's possession, the DSS immediately declared him wanted and issued an arrest warrant for terrorism-related offenses. This is an entirely separate case from the corruption charges he is already facing with the EFCC. Terrorism charges are far more serious than financial crimes in Nigerian law. They carry harsher penalties, including possible life imprisonment or even death sentences. They are handled by different security agencies with broader powers, and they are much harder to escape through legal technicalities or political connections. The DSS wanted to arrest Malami immediately to begin interrogation about the weapons, but they faced an unusual problem. Malami was already in Kuje Prison serving on remand for the corruption case, so they could not simply go and arrest him from his home or office like they normally would. This created a temporary situation where Malami was somewhat protected from the terrorism investigation simply by virtue of already being in prison on other charges. When Malami heard through his lawyers about the DSS declaring him wanted and planning to arrest him on terrorism charges, he made a calculated decision. Despite having met all the bail conditions set by the court for the corruption case, he deliberately refused to process his bail and complete the paperwork for his release. This is the tactic he is now employing to evade arrest by the DSS, at least temporarily. He knows that DSS detention facilities are much harsher than regular prison, so he has chosen to remain a prisoner voluntarily rather than risk facing the DSS and the terrorism investigation. The irony of Malami's current situation is almost poetic. Here is a man who was once one of the most powerful people in Nigeria, the chief law officer of the Federation, someone who controlled prosecutions and had enormous influence over the justice system. Now he is so afraid of the legal consequences of his own crimes that he is hiding inside a prison, using his status as an inmate on corruption charges as a shield against being arrested for even more serious terrorism charges. As things stand now, Malami is in very big trouble if he is found to be linked to terrorism financing or weapons supply to terrorist groups. Because the Nigerian government is fully committed now to fighting any form of terrorism and its sponsors in the country. One thing is absolutely certain in this situation: whether Malami likes it or not, whether he processes his bail or continues refusing to do so, the DSS has the legal authority and power to come and take him from Kuje Prison anytime they want to formally arrest him on the terrorism charges. His strategy of hiding in prison on the corruption case cannot protect him indefinitely. The DSS is simply allowing things to proceed in an orderly manner, but when they are ready, they will execute their arrest warrant, and Malami will have no choice but to face the terrorism investigation regardless of where he is currently being held. Malami's desperate situation should serve as a stark warning to other government officials who may be involved in corruption, illegal weapons, possession, or any form of support for terrorism. Your position will not protect you forever. Your power is temporary. The crimes you commit today will eventually catch up with you. What do you think about Malami refusing to leave prison because he fears DSS arrest? Is this a smart strategy or just delaying the inevitable? Should DSS go and arrest him from prison immediately? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications for more updates on Malami's case and the terrorism investigation.